Hey guys, Hackersploit here, back again with another video, and welcome back to the ethical hacking course. Now in today's video we're going to be talking about proxy chains. So you might be asking yourself, what are proxy chains? Well, proxy chains are a series of proxies that will basically give you anonymity or will anonymize anything that you're doing, whether it being you're performing an nmap scan, or you're performing a brute force attack, or you're performing SQL injection, or you're just browsing the web. This will basically anonymize anything that you're doing. Now, you might be asking, what's the difference between a proxy and a proxy chain? Well, proxies are usually found in browsers, and they basically anonymize HTTP connections or web connections or things that you're doing on the internet. Whereas proxy chains will basically anonymize all the activities that you're doing. Now, when using the penetration testing distros, proxy chains are already installed, so I would recommend, if you're ever gonna configure them, just use a penetration testing distro, as it'll be much easier. So in this video you can already see that I'm using Kali Linux. That's because I just want it to be a bit diverse. I don't want to select one distro and go with that. I'm going to use the different distros because I know a lot of you have different distros, and you might feel that I'm ignoring those distros, but I'm not. So anyway, this is basically, proxy chains are installed on Parrot OS, on Kali Linux, or even on Black Arc. So since they're already installed, all you have to do is open the terminal like you always should, and we have to actually, to configure the proxy chains, we have to use the proxychains.configuration file, which can be found in the following directory. So the first thing, we're going to use the nano editor, and we're going to say etc or etc. That's the directory we're going to go into, because Kali Linux is already in the root directory. We then want to select the proxychains.configuration.conf. Alright, that's a .configuration extension. Alright, so enter. There we are. Very cool. So it's using the nano editor and it's going to open the file. So we're using proxychains.configuration version 3.1. that comes in the latest distros. Now let's start with the first thing that might appear new to you guys, is these hashes here, or these hashtags as they are called. Well, basically the hashes are just comments in the configuration file. Now what I mean is, if you ever have done programming, you know that when you comment, it's just for documentation. Well, these are actual commands, but they've been commented to turn them off. So I'll get to turning them off in a second, so don't worry about the hashes. Now another important thing is this line here. Now, HTTP SOCKS 4, SOCKS 5, tunneling proxy firewall DNS. These are basically the formats of proxies. HTTP proxies are, you're very familiar with them. They're being used in the Tor browser. SOCKS 4 are really not popular anymore, but they anonymize pretty well. And SOCKS 5 is what I would recommend and what we're gonna use in this video. And they'll basically they'll anonymize everything that you're doing on your system. Alright, so we have explained what that is. Now let's go down here into a dynamic chain. Now this is the most important thing here. Dynamic chains are the most stable and the fastest proxies that you can use. And basically the difference between a dynamic and strict and even a random chain, by the way, if you want to scroll down the configuration file, use your mouse wheel or use the arrows. I find the arrows much better because I can specify with a button or a key. So as you can see, one of the lines is uncommented. We have the random chain. Now don't worry about that. Let's actually just comment that for this video. What that means is that it's just going to use your IP address. So the proxies are really not active. If we want to activate a proxy, we'll remove this hash, and dynamic chains have been activated. So that means you're actually using a proxy right now. I'll get to configuring the proxy in detail just in a second. Now, dynamic proxies, each connection will be done via chain proxies. Alright, so basically this will go through a series of IP addresses or proxies in different countries, as we will specify down below in the configuration section. So the reason why this is the fastest is because basically it's going through what I would say is a very good system for proxies. As you can see, it's going to say here, all proxies chained in the order as they appear in the list. At least one proxy must be online we already know that dead proxies are skipped. So it'll not go through a dead proxy and then prompt you that the connection is not working. Just ignore strict chains for now. That's a bit of an advanced thing, but basically a strict chain will just stick to the IPs that you've given it or the proxies that you've given it, and it'll stay to in most cases it'll only use one of the proxies. Random chain is just a normal connection. Now, in proxy DNS requests, in this section here, I just want to explain something. This is usually where the beginners make mistakes. What this means, no leak for DNS data. What this means is usually when basically anonymizing your system, when you're performing anything really, you can use a proxy, but you have to also change your DNS. Alright, let me explain why. Most of the beginners will use a proxy and it'll change their location every 5 to 10 minutes or even faster than that. So it's bouncing all around the world. You're using different locations, but your DNS is in the country you're in. So when a website like YouTube accesses, or when you access YouTube, for example, it's going to log your IP. The IP will belong to, let's say, France, and you've not changed your DNS. So your DNS will show your host country. Let's say your host country is Germany, and you're accessing using a proxy. YouTube will already know that you're using a proxy because they can see that you're using different IPs. But your DNS is in one country, and from there they can track you, and you get the idea. So always change your DNS whilst using proxies. It just increases your anonymity and it makes you look a bit professional, not like a non-professional would go about it. So let's go down to the proxy list format. All right, now this is again, they'll give you like examples of how they would appear. So I want you guys to pay attention to these formats here. Just go over these formats and just understand the format. We'll get into configuring the proxy down below here. So as you can see, this is the proxy list down below, and basically it's using a SOCKS 4 127.0.0.1950, which is the Tor. It's using the Tor proxy, which it's saying SOCKS 4. I know it's basically for HTTP. So I'm gonna get in the next video using your own proxies. So otherwise guys, I hope this video helped you. If it did, leave a like. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If it didn't help you, let me know in the comment section,